I will sign a presidential memorandum.
For President Trump, it was not enough, his withdrawal last month from the Iran nuclear agreement. On this day, with his encouragement, the United States announced a wider war on Iran's economy with the goal of changing Iran's behavior.
It is a regime that uses shell and front companies to conceal its tracks. And all of this in support of nefarious activity, whether it's funding terrorists, supporting WMD proliferation, or exploiting its own people through corruption and human rights abuses.
Sigal Mandelker, the top Treasury Department official in charge of tracking terrorism finance, with an unusually detailed presentation on what Iran's Revolutionary Guards are doing to move money and weapons to Syria, Lebanon, Yemen, and elsewhere, and the role of the Central Bank of Iran, with a bank in Iraq helping and other banks pretending they don't know what's going on.
We have made clear that companies doing business in Iran face substantial risks. And those risks are even greater as we reimpose nuclear-related sanctions. We will hold those doing prohibited business in Iran to account.
I24NEWS followed up with Elizabeth Rosenberg, a former Treasury official, part of a panel at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies.
The information was always being collected, even after sanctions were lifted, because of the Iran nuclear deal.
It does appear to many people politically that when the JCPOA was signed, Iran was given free rein because many sanctions were lifted. But the truth is, not all the sanctions were lifted, and the United States, for example, continued to do designations pursuant to concerns about terrorism, about regional destabilization, about human rights.
So President Trump has his finger on the trigger for a re-energized attack he hinted at last week.
The sanctions are very powerful. You've seen how powerful in other ways. You're going to see how powerful sanctions are when it comes to Iran. You see what that's doing to Iran.
European leaders are worried as to how far America will go to sanction Europe's banks and companies if they insist on doing business with Iran. A big topic for the Group of Seven summit. President Trump will be there in Canada later this week. Dan Raviv, I24 News, Washington.